Hey guys, what's going on? Greenville Gear. I decided that it would be a cool idea. I'm a couple days early to do a top 10 video for 2020. So this stack over here are the top kind of pickups and pulls that I had over the course of the year, and mostly singles that I acquired. And it was also a lot of fun to go back and look at my video from 2019 and kind of see what were my top cards from last year. So you can go back through my videos and find that if you want. And then it's just kind of a record for me of my collection. I'll give you a little bit of preview of last year. My number 2 card that I picked up in 2019 was this 1958 Mantle All-Star card. Really happy that I got it when I did, and it's so fun to have in my collection. One of the very few Mickey Mantles that I have, but I just love it with the swing, and it's just such a cool card to me. So that was my number 2 last year. My number 1 last year was a really big card for me. Still is. I'm a T206 collector, and it was this Johnny Evers T206, and just an iconic card to me and to a lot of people, and just happy to have that in the collection. So that was my number 1 last year. So I had a good 2019, and honestly, guys, I think I had a really good 2020 too. Just really grateful to have the cards that I have and have the collection being built the way I have built it. So let me show you just some of mine. And what's kind of fun about this is that if you look through my cards, they probably wouldn't be the 10 most valuable cards, and they might not be the cards that everybody would think is their best, but they're the cards that I really like, and I think that's what the hobby's all about. So number 10 is actually 2 cards because I guess it's my video, and so it's kind of a tie for number 10, and it's actually 2 of the same card, and it's this Alex Verdugo Chrome Auto. I picked these up, and I picked up another one that I had graded. I think I showed on the channel a video 2 ago, but I kind of have gotten into collecting Verdugo. I like the Red Sox, and I like collecting him, and so it's been fun to pick his cards up. I just love this 2018 rookie, and so I picked these up on ComC, I think, actually, before kind of he started to really do well for the Red Sox this year, and so I was glad that I did that. So happy to have those, and those would be number 10, the Alex Verdugo Chrome autos. Number 9 would be a T206 for this year, and it would be a Piedmont back, and it's a card that I bought raw and then sent to SGC to get slabbed. So it was kind of fun to do this on my own and go through the process of finding raw T206 cards and getting them slabbed. And so it's not a particularly remarkable card, but it is this John Butler Piedmont back in an SGC 3. And so happy to have this one, and this is just cool because I went through this process, like I said, and this was the favorite. I think I did 3 cards, and you can go back and look through my videos on that too. I think it might have been my first ever SGC reveal, and these were part of that group. And so the John Butler came back, and I love the green, and just think that's really cool. And Rochester, which is a town that I have some connection to. So really neat. So that's number 9, the John Butler T206. Number 8, probably not a card that people would put in their top 10s, but this is one of the ones that I pulled from a pack, and I couldn't believe it. I think I bought 2 blasters of Prism last year before they were outrageously expensive. And I broke this on camera, but I pulled this Chris Dunn. I'm a Chris Dunn collector, and what was really cool is it was the green variation. And so it was really one of the cooler pulls that I've had on camera. I just love the color here, and you know, I'm one of the few Chris Dunn collectors there are out there, and so he's kind of my PC for basketball, and so that was just super cool. So that's my number 8 card. My number 7 card is a Rafael Devers from the Red Sox. This is a 2018 Topps Chrome, and it is a SGC 10, so it is a quote perfect card. I have a few versions of this card, but this is the one in the highest grade, and I just thought this was really neat. I got it, you know, cheaper, I think, late in the summer. I don't think he had a great season. It was kind of up and down, so happy to add the Devers to the collection. So that is number 7. Number 6 is a football card. And it's this Gale Sayers. I also talked about this on the channel before, but I have a autograph version when Topps did a reprint of this card, but this is the original 1969 Gale Sayers. in an SGC 6.5. I love the background color. Just a really kind of famous running back, and one of my favorite kind of vintage running backs anyway. So there's Sayers, and so really excited about that. So that is that. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 5 is a hockey card. And again, it kind of comes down to like eye appeal and cards that I like. And it's kind of weird that I have, I don't know, this many hockey cards in my top 10, but it's just really about collecting and collecting what you like. And so this was a card that I never could get when I was a kid and just seems iconic to my eye. And it's this 1988 Topps Mario Lemieux in a PSA 8, and an 8 is just fine for me. This looks really nicely centered. Just love this card, and so it has cracked my top 10 for the year. And again, not an expensive card, but I would rate it as one of my top 10 pickups of the year. And this was just a fun list to go back through and look through my cards and say, okay, what did I get this year? And oh yeah, I love this card, I love this card, and then to rank them. It was fun. So it'd be cool to see some of your videos too. This one I just featured on the channel because I did a vintage pickup channel, but it's just too good of a card to not make the top 10 for this year. And it's my very first Willie Mays card, and it's the 1961 Willie Mays. It's got a PSA 5 on it, but just nicely centered, good eye appeal. Again, my first Mays, so it's kind of special, and it was cool to be able to include this one in the top 10 for the year. So that's number 4. Number 3 is another hockey card, and again, it's about eye appeal and the way that it looks. It's not a expensive card, although maybe Gretzky cards are getting more expensive. But it's this Wayne Gretzky from 1984, and I just think that's a gorgeous card. What a neat design. It's in a PSA 7. But I think it's got great eye appeal, nice centering, cool colors, team colors. Love it. So that's my number 3 card of the year. If you would have asked me, I wouldn't have thought that one would have ranked so high, but as I was just putting this list together, I just kept having this one climb up the list. So there's the Gretzky at number 3. Number 2, you know I'm a T206 collector, and I had a couple of really big pickups for me that I'm just lucky to have in my collection. Number 2 is a polar bear back. I had a polar bear back of a kind of more common player, and I sold that one because it was all stained, as the polar bear backs are commonly stained, and took that kind of those proceeds and then put it towards kind of upgrading. So I wanted another polar bear back to replace it, but I wanted to get a Hall of Famer, and I was able to get this Addy Joss. Amazing pitcher. It's an SGC 2.5. And so, again, it's all about eye appeal. Buy the card, not the grade. I mean, it's got wear on the corners and all that stuff. No major creases or anything like that, but just looks like a well-loved tobacco card. And I am so stoked to have it in my collection. So that's the number 2 card from 2020 for me. And the number 1 card just was a card that I kind of lusted over for a long time, and you know, had to save my funds to make sure that I was able to get it and get it at a fair price. Sweet Cap back, not my favorite back by any stretch. I really like Piedmont and Polar Bear better. But what I love is the front of this card, and this is the T206 Bobby Wallace from St. Louis, and it's in a PSA 4, if you're curious. But it looks like a 4. I love that orange and yellow back. I love, you know, the way his cheeks even are rosy. Just such a cool jersey with the gray. And so the Bobby Wallace was an easy number 1 for this year, and really fortunate to have this one. So that's it. That's my 2020 year in review. Here's to hoping for a much better 2021 for all of you, and things will look up, I'm sure. But I hope your collections saw some good additions this year as well, and would love to see some of your videos for your year in review. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. So, all right, take care and thanks for watching. See ya.